What's going on, guys? PC here. Today I wanted to do a quick overview and some thoughts on Sony's E3 press conference yesterday. I was really impressed overall. They had some really good announcements, some great looking games, and some other real stuff that I'm going to talk about here. But I'm just going to go over some of the notes here and some of the stuff they announced, and I'll give my opinion on each. First off, starting with the PlayStation Vita, they announced that 85 new titles are coming by the end of the year, which is a lot of games. I'm excited about that. I really love my PlayStation Vita. I was a little disappointed they didn't have more Vita announcements, but 85 games is still very, very good. The games include Batman Arkham Origins, Counter-Spy, Destiny of Spirits, Doki Doki Universe, Killzone Mercenaries, and Tearaway. Also, the God of War HD 1 and 2, both of those games are coming to the Vita, as well as Final Fantasy X and X2, Flower, and Dead Nation. So, some good titles coming to the Vita. I would have liked more, like I said, not necessarily more games, but more focus on the Vita. They just dedicated a little bit of time at the beginning of the press conference. It was nice that they started out the press conference talking about the Vita, which was nice. But I would have liked to actually see more trailers and stuff like that for the Vita itself. Moving on to the PlayStation 3, we have they showed the Last of Us trailer. Last of Us looks really, really good. Looking forward to playing that. Uncharted is a really, really great series. I'm really a big fan of that. Although I've only played the first game and the Vita game, I still have yet to play Uncharted 2 and 3, but I definitely want to get into those. Uncharted 3 is actually going to be free on PlayStation Plus sometime this month, so that's really cool. I want to try and see if I can get Uncharted 2 before that comes out. They also showed the Puppeteer, which I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure too much about that game. It actually looks a lot like Little Big Planet, which I actually thought it was when they first started showing the trailer. But yeah, I don't have too much of an opinion on that because I really don't know much about it. Rain was interesting. It was just kind of a teaser trailer. I don't know what the game's about. They just basically showed this video of a bunch of rain falling everywhere and these ghosts that were just kind of wandering around. It was a very interesting trailer. It looked kind of cool, but I have no idea what the game's about. They also showed Beyond Two Souls, another trailer for that. That looks really good. Gran Turismo 6, yeah, racing game. Batman Arkham Origins trailer, which is the same game that's coming to Vita, although I think the portable version, the 3DS, and the Vita version are different from the console versions. Sony's also planning a Grand Theft Auto 5 exclusive PS3 bundle. Yay. And that's pretty much it for the PlayStation 3. So on to the PlayStation 4, which is probably what most of you watch the press conference to figure out more information about. The system hardware was shown. I'll show a picture of it right now. Yeah, that's the PlayStation 4. I think the design is actually pretty nice. It has a kind of modern art type look to it. I think it's pretty nice. It did look pretty slim too. They showed a picture of it next to a PlayStation 3 controller standing up vertically, and it looked pretty thin. I was really impressed with that, especially considering the Xbox One, which looks like a big tower PC. But yeah, I think it's a really nice looking console, and kudos for that. Obviously, one of the big highlights of the press conference was the fact that they announced the PlayStation 4 will support used games, and with no DRM. There's none of that online activation crap, any of the check-in every 24-hour stuff. They really made a lot of jabs at Microsoft in the press conference, and they had this hilarious trailer. If you have not seen it, check out, well, I don't know, it's not really a trailer, it's kind of a commercial type thing. Check it out, how to share games on the PlayStation 4. Look for that on YouTube, it's hilarious. It's basically just a jab at Microsoft. saying that, hey, you can just give your PlayStation 4 game to someone else and they can play it. So that's fantastic. I was really worried that they'd go the same route as Microsoft and start doing online activations for games and deterring people from selling their games and people from buying used games. So it's really cool to know that they're doing none of that. So very, very cool. So on to PlayStation Network. They made quite a few announcements in regards to the PlayStation Network. First of all, they announced a bunch of different things about exclusive movies and TV shows and stuff for the PlayStation 4. Not too interested in that. Glad they didn't take too long in that category. Whereas Microsoft took a lot of time to do media and TV, especially in their first Xbox One announcement. Not as much in their E3 press conference, but they did focus a lot more on TV and movies than Sony did. Video and Music Unlimited will be available on launch day for the PlayStation 4. New services are being added to PSN, including Redbox Instant Live Events Viewer, which is basically pay-per-view. You can watch wrestling and sports events, and Flickster, which I think is just trailers and movie tickets you can buy from them and stuff like that. Not too interested in that. They also, they didn't announce, I think they announced this earlier, not just in this press conference, but independent developers will be able to publish their own content, which is nice. They also announced that the PlayStation Plus subscription will work across all of Sony's consoles, including the PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, and PlayStation 4. So that's very nice. All you have to do is pay one fee and you get all the benefits on all of your consoles, which is very, very nice. They also announced, unfortunately, that PlayStation Plus will be required to play online games on the PlayStation 4. This is kind of unfortunate, as it probably would have given them a good advantage over Microsoft if they kept their online service free, but what are you going to do? They're pretty much on even ground now. Even Xbox Live is starting apparently to give out some free games, same as PlayStation Plus, but it doesn't really affect me because I'm already a PlayStation Plus subscriber, and I really, really like the service. A lot of people complain that you can't actually keep the games after your subscription expires. I really don't find that to be an issue. First of all, because I love the service and I really don't plan on canceling. And second of all, are you really going to be playing those games a year later? I mean, if you get a game now, what are the chances that you're still going to be playing it a year down the road? Not too many games are like that. Likely you'll be finished with that game by the time your subscription expires. So, it depends on how you look at it. I look at it as you're renting these games and you don't have to return them. There's no late fees or anything. So I think it's a really, really good value, especially for all the content that you get. They also announced some information about their Gaikai service that they purchased. I believe it was last year or the year before. They purchased Gaikai, which is a cloud gaming service. They announced what they will actually be doing with it, and they said that the Gaikai service will be used to stream PlayStation 3 games to the PlayStation 4, PlayStation Vita, and even mobile devices like phones and tablets, which is pretty cool. Well, actually, they didn't actually say it would work on phones and tablets, but they showed it up on the screen where they showed a picture of a couple phones and a tablet. So I'm assuming that they'll have PlayStation 3 games streaming to those devices as well, which would be pretty cool. I don't want to play them with touchscreen controls, don't get me wrong, but if you can pair a controller with it, it might be pretty cool. But that's how they're going to implement backwards compatibility on the PlayStation 4, since it doesn't have that natively. It's not going to be quite as good as having native backwards compatibility because streaming has its problems. I've used OnLive myself, and it's alright. Games are playable. I played through Deus Ex Human Revolution or something like that. I played through that on OnLive, and it was playable. It did have a slight delay, which made it, I couldn't help but think the whole time how much better it would be played locally, but it works all right. This is a possibility, obviously, that Sony's service will work better, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. Alright, so now on to the games. They made quite a few announcements in terms of games. They made some announcements for exclusive games as well as some multi-platform games. But starting off with The Order 1886. I thought this game looked really, really cool. It's obviously based in 1886 in London. It appears to be some type of first-person shooter having to do with werewolves, it looks really, really good. Check out the trailer if you haven't seen it already. That's one of my top 3 games of the show. I thought it looked really, really good. They also showed off trailers for Killzone Shadowfall, Drive Club, Infamous Second Son, which I'm really looking forward to. Big fan of the Infamous series. This game looks excellent. The trailer they showed off made the game look really, really good. I really am looking forward to that. That would be number 2 out of my top 3 games for the show. They also showed off a game named Knack, which looked kind of like a cartoony game. I really don't know much about it. I also showed off NBA 2K14. They actually showed off these facial animations in the game, which I thought looked really odd and very exaggerated, almost animated. I didn't think the facial animations they showed were very realistic. But the next game was The Dark Sorcerer, which actually wasn't a game, it was more of a prototype. I'm not sure if this will actually be a game, but the trailer was really cool. It was a very, very cool tech demo for the PlayStation 4. Very, very good animation, very realistic. I really enjoyed watching that. And that was by Quantic Dream. The next one was Transistor. Actually, I don't remember that one. Developed by Supergiant Games. Yeah, I don't recall that one, so you'll just have to look up the trailer if you're interested in that. A bunch of indie games they announced. They made a big push towards indie games. They said how they would obviously let indie game developers publish their own games, and they really seemed to make them welcome on the PlayStation 4, which is very cool. A few of the games they showed off were Don't Starve, Mercenary Kings, Octodad, Dadliest Catch, Secret Ponchos, Raise Q's to Find Out Why He Was Killed. That's a weird title for a game. But Outlast, Oddworld, they had, I'm really excited about this, they had a remake of the original Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which is a really, really good game. Fantastic puzzle game on the PS1. I'm looking forward to that remake, which is called Oddworld, the New and Tasty Remake. So looking forward to that. The Galaxy, I guess, is the last game. And they are all exclusive to the PlayStation 4. They also announced that Diablo 3 would be coming to the PlayStation 4. A new Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 13, I guess? Or Final Fantasy 15. So many Final Fantasy games. I actually thought the trailer looked pretty awesome. I'm not really a fan of the Final Fantasy games, but the trailer looked absolutely amazing. You should really check that out if you haven't seen it already. Kingdom Hearts 3 was announced. Love the original Kingdom Hearts game. The second one, I don't know if I was just playing it wrong or not, but Kingdom Hearts 2 just felt really difficult. Maybe I was just playing it wrong or something like that, but I really liked the first game, so Kingdom Hearts 3, looking forward to that. They also showed off 2 games from Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed 4 and Watch Dogs. Assassin's Creed 4 looks alright. I think the Assassin's Creed series is getting a little worn down. It's almost getting like Call of Duty, where they just keep coming out with game after game after game, and it gets a little old after a while. Watch Dogs look pretty good, actually. Graphically, actually was a little underwhelmed on Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed 4. Maybe it's just down to Ubisoft's engine and not the PlayStation 4 itself, because some of the other games look really amazing. I thought these games looked alright. Some of the rain effects on Watch Dogs look really good. Otherwise, it kind of looked like a PlayStation 3 game. They also announced the Elder Scrolls Online would be coming to the PlayStation 4. I really like the Elder Scrolls series, so I'm looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online, although I'm not a big fan of MMOs, not because I don't like them, it's because I just get too addicted to them and I just play them too much. Mad Max was announced. I'm not sure if this is the first announcement of this game. I'm not very familiar with Mad Max, but the trailer looked really good. It was just kind of a teaser trailer. They didn't really show much gameplay. Also, Destiny. I really like the look of this game. Destiny is by Bungie, which you may know from the Halo series. This is their first game, I believe, on a non-Xbox console. It looked really, really good. It's a first-person shooter, obviously, but it's open world, online. I believe it's an MMO. It looked really, really good graphically, gameplay-wise. It looked really amazing. Definitely check out the trailer for it if you haven't already. Very, very cool looking game. So the release date for the PlayStation 4. Well, the PlayStation 4 is coming out in the US and Europe this holiday season. They weren't too specific about that, so I'm assuming they're going to announce the exact date a little later on this year. So pricing for the PlayStation 4. Well, they announced that the price will be $399 US, which is actually $100 cheaper than the Xbox One, which I think will give them a big advantage over Microsoft. People are going to flock to the PlayStation 4, I think, because of the better price tag, the ability to play used games, and just the better overall lineup of games. In terms of games, I think Sony really knocked it out of the park. The whole press conference was pretty much just game after game after game after game, which was awesome. Some really, really good looking titles too. So yeah, the price point, $399, definitely going to be very enticing for buyers. So that's pretty much it. That is all that Sony announced at their press conference. I really think they knocked it out of the park. They just mopped the floor with Microsoft this year. They showed off some amazing looking games. The PlayStation 4 supports used games, which is awesome. And yeah, overall, Sony definitely won E3 this year. Microsoft did really pitiful in comparison. But I'm really looking forward to the PlayStation 4. I will definitely be buying one, maybe not on launch. I usually wait most of the time for the price to go down. For most consoles, the only console I've ever bought on launch is actually the PlayStation Vita. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the PlayStation 4. I may be getting a Wii U first. We'll see what happens, but I will definitely be getting a PlayStation 4. So what are your thoughts on the Sony E3 press conference? Do you think they knocked it out of the park with this one? Is there anything that you thought was missing from the conference? What do you think overall? Let me know in the comments below, or even make a video response. And as usual, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please comment, rate, subscribe, and thanks for watching.